drivers in the race. We've got the newcomers, we've got the old-timers, and some visiting Grand National cars. What's this mix going to give us on the track?
Well, perhaps a little trouble from time to time because, of course, the inexperienced drivers are likely to cause a little trouble. They sometimes don't look in the mirror, Chris. They sometimes don't recognize the closing speed around this super speedway. And, of course, the younger drivers want to prove themselves against the established cars and everybody else.
Okay, on the pole is Joe Milliken, and outside is Jeff Bodine, a rookie. He has a yellow bumper, as all rookies have in this race. And we'll be watching out for the yellow bumpers once this race gets underway.
In the second row, it'll be Grand National veteran Darrell Walter in car 88, and Jerry Cook, a modified champion, perennial modified champion in car number 6. He's from Rome, New York. In the third row, Ray Hendrick, a veteran campaigner from Richmond, number 90, and the 1975 winner here, Jack Ingram of Asheville in car number 94. Then it's going to be Neil Bonnet in car number 5, a Grand National regular from Alabama, and in car 41, Jack Plant of Riverdale, Maryland. Then in car 3, Mike Porter from Princeton, West Virginia, and Morgan Shepherd in car number 50 from Conover, North Carolina. Next row is Sam Summers, another Grand National veteran in 27, Tommy Houston in car 38. Next here will be Tommy Robbs in car 33, and a road racing veteran, Carson Baird of Laurel, Maryland, in car number 8. Then Bob Presley of Asheville, North Carolina, number 34. And last year's winner, Johnny Allison, in car number 21. Well, here's the field, Jackie. 40 cars in all coming off turn 4 on a rather drab day here at Daytona.
A drab day, a cool day, a day with good light, but they're just about ready to be off right now. There's been a lot of rain here at Daytona, and they got the green flag, Chris.
Okay, then there's a rookie, Jeff Bodine. How about that, Jackie? A newcomer to the track with that yellow bumper scooting into the lead. It's quite a lot of traffic going down there. Bodine, you can see how much water down on the apron of the car's flash. For someone running down low, it could be dangerous. Bodine is pulling out a lead. He's driving the number 1 racing team car, and he is really showing these established veterans something by grabbing the lead like that.
Well, they come off turn 2 and head down for this 3,000-foot backstretch, and look at the spray getting up there. It's a combination of dust and spray as they go down this long 3,000-foot chute. Going into turn 3, Bodine still high, still ahead there. Darrell Waltrip coming up behind him. Darrell Waltrip, car number 88. The white car with the green flash there, really tightening up, really coming off turn 4. He's going to make a pass. He's heading for this dogleg and this tri-oval here as he comes through.
Okay, Waltrip down low, Jackie, getting past Bodine to lead lap number 1. And racing here at Daytona is always highly competitive. We've had the first lead change now before the first lap is over, and no one seems to be pulling away. Bodine, without an advantage of the draft, pulled away. Waltrip, with great experience on these bankings here, moves to the top. Joe Waltrip, number 88, who came so close to winning this one last year, out in front of Ray Hendrick in car number 90 and Neil Bonnet in car number 5. The nameplate, Chevrolet, a Ford and a Pontiac up top. And here comes Joe Milliken.
Neil Bonnet up there in protege of the Allison family. He certainly has been brought along with them, and he seems to have learned a few tricks because he went right underneath there, and he looks like he just grabbed second place, but whether he can keep it into that turn 1 is something else.
If that car on the right-hand side of the screen at third or now fourth place looks familiar, it's Richard Petty's old car, and it's being driven by Joe Milliken, who won here in 1976, a Petty protege, and now we've got 4 of the fastest cars in the race lined up one behind the other going down that long, super fast backstretch. Now, Waltrip on the inside of drift. Bonnet's going to try and follow him through, and Hendrick, who was leading a moment ago, suddenly finds himself back in third. Great racing. Now, Bonnet, his car sticks well down low. He may go for the lead here on the inside, and he's exactly trying that. And a slower car, but down to the side, and Hendrick pushing. Hendrick is trying to help Waltrip. Waltrip cuts down, Jackie, in the tri-oval. Left him no room.
Well, they certainly are doing a lot of passing apart from anything else. Remember, these are the first few laps of this 300-mile race. A lot of activity this early, and certainly no sign of anybody doing anything wrong. That's a very important fact here. No inexperience showing, but of course the men we're looking at are pretty experienced.
Oh, Jackie Allison in 21. He started in 16th position. He's up to 6th, going for 5th. Now, he's come through traffic like nobody's business. He won here last year. He and Waltrip had a tremendous duel for the lead last year. He's up to 4th. This is going to be an interesting competition.
Well, the Allisons are so experienced. You know, they're drivers who drive in anything. If you give them a steering wheel, and look at that there. That was a bit of a draft movement there. He moved a little bit too abruptly for my liking. The blue and red car on your screen there just moved out. Joe Milliken looked like he was a little unstable there and getting into the draft again.
Look at the slower cars giving the fast
well as their own goodwill, and if they can get tucked in behind a faster car, they also can get a little lift from it. Joe Milligan pulls out to try and take a pass here. Can he do it? The red and white car there, 04, going along, trying to get into third place.
And there they are, side by side. Allison's now in second as Waltrip drops the fourth. He was leading a moment ago. The leader is now Hendrick at number 90. Milligan is third.
And Waltrip's dropped right back. He lifted straight off the throttle there. He must have had a problem. The left car in your screen there, the car that's just on the left-hand side, car number 88, is being hidden a little bit by the other cars. Really back there. Darrell Waltrip must have had some sort of problem because he's lifted off.
And Allison goes for the lead on the outside as the leaders pass slower cars down low. A tremendous drive for this Alabama racer, whose brother Bobby is also a top chauffeur. So Allison, who won last year, is now out in front. Ray Hendrick holds second as they hit the back straightaway. Joe Milligan, who won here 2 years ago. A Richard Petty protege is third. Neil Bonnet is fourth. And Darrell Waltrip is fifth. And we'll be back for more of the Daytona 300 in 1 minute. The car 21 holds the lead over Joe Milligan. 04. Allison, a seasoned veteran. Milligan, a big raw-boned youngster from North Carolina. A Richard Petty protege. A boy who worked in the shops of Petty's garage for quite a while, but didn't like coming to work at 7 o'clock in the morning, so quit to become a professional racing driver. 31-degree banking here, and it's a slab rather than a dish, which means you can whoops into the water. A car going down and another car blowing an engine going at first turn. Here we've got the driver. He didn't waste any time getting out of that car, and the yellow flag comes out for the first time in the Daytona 300 today. Car number 41, that's Jack Bland of Riverdale, Maryland. He started in 8th place, was running in the top 10, flying down.
He seems to be slightly dazed, Chris. He just sort of fell down there. He's trying to get his helmet off. The first aid people have got over to him, undoing the buckle of the helmet. That's one of the first things that happen when you get somebody in a state of accident where he can breathe more easily, give him better respiration. He's had his helmet taken off, in fact. He seemed to be all right. He certainly jumped out the car with great speed. I think he probably partly drowned in there because of the water we saw. We saw steam coming up. I mean, it must have been a very scary moment for him.
Well, with the yellow out, Jackie, let's take another look in slow motion.
Well, the car's down on the left-hand side of the screen. You can see the car's on fire. Jack Bland obviously realizes the car's on fire and starting to ease the car off the racetrack. He takes it off onto the soft shoulder. Now, there's been an incredible amount of rain here in Daytona, and look at the flames and smoke belching out of that. It's some sort of oil fire, but as he drives the car off, suddenly the car loses adhesion. He turns the car into opposite lock. The flames are now by the driver's side, and he goes through this water. Incredible, but that water put this fire out. It could have been serious for Jack Bland, but now he's going to get out of this car because he's been undoing the seat belts, and he jumped out of the window, and he's safe.
Working with us today is Benny Parsons, a great Grand National driver. He's down in the pits, and he's got a report for us on the situation.
Okay, Jackie and Chris, down here in the pits, Jack Bland, the report is his hands are burned, and he is now gone to the hospital to be checked out. Darrell Waltrip's car a while ago was slowing down noticeably. We have checked. I looked inside his car as he made his pit stop. The water temperature gauge is sitting on 230 degrees. He is definitely overheating.
Well, with the yellow out, Donnie Allison 21 leads, Joe Milligan in 04, Ray Hendrick at 90, Jeff Bodine in number 1, and Darrell Waltrip in car number 88. We'll be back for more. Stewart, and Ray Hendrick in car number 90 is leading Darrell Waltrip and Donnie Allison, cars 88 and 21, in high-speed action on this 2.5-mile super speedway. Now Waltrip on the inside goes by for the lead with Donnie Allison drafting him right behind him. Tremendous competition here going into this high bank turn.
And there you see these cars going through there in formation. Donnie Allison tucking in behind Darrell Waltrip, trying to get the draft as they come off there, coming off this high banking, trying to get really tucked in. When you draft, or when you slipstream as we call it in Europe, you tuck yourself in behind the car in front. The car in front is braking the air in front, therefore allowing the car behind to accelerate and use up extra power to come out and pass you. And this is the technique of drafting that is so spectacular and of course so privé to the stock car fraternity.
We've got the character of the race established, Jackie. 9 cars are pulling away from the balance of the field. Waltrip last year raced Allison. There's Allison going back. Remember last year they came right down to the wire, and it was Allison who Waltrip says snookered him. Waltrip has a tremendous appetite for racing. Before the race, I had a chance to talk to him about that.
Darrell, you're a top-line Grand National driver, win a lot of big races, and yet you come back to the Sportsman ranks. Why is that?
Chris, I started out as a late model Sportsman driver, and a lot of the guys that are in this particular race are guys that I started out racing with 10 years ago. They elected to continue to run late model Sportsman, and I had bigger ideas. I wanted to be a Grand National driver. I enjoy this part of racing. I still can draw from the experience that I gain in these races, and it's, you know, a race is a race. It doesn't matter what the title of it. If this was a 30-lap heat race, I had a car that was capable of running in it and eligible to run in it, I'd want to be in the race.
Lots of passing here. Waltrip now back to third as Allison leads. Joe Milliken and some fast cars right behind him as well. Down the back straightaway here at the Daytona International Speedway. One of the fastest rides in American stock car racing. And now Waltrip shoots by Milliken on the inside, goes for second, and cements himself in that place. Remember now, Waltrip's car was overheating earlier. He cannot stay too much behind one car for any length of time where the temperature will go up. He's gaining on Allison coming down the main straightaway here. A great pair of competitors, Allison and Waltrip here, with that youngster Milliken lying third. They hit the start-finish stripe. Waltrip angles low on the track, pulls down alongside of Allison. He wants that number one place. Milliken looking for a hole to go through between them. And now, Waltrip is the leader. In one lap, he has moved from third to first. Great racing here at Daytona Beach. Okay, Waltrip first, Allison second, Milliken third. We'll be back for more later in the program. But now, we're back. Car race is in progress on the track. Leading in car number 88 is Darrell Waltrip. Johnny Allison, the closest of seconds, right behind in car number 21. They're lapping Bob Presley in car 34 right now. Joe Milliken just a few lengths back in third place. The competition has been tremendous with passing on almost every lap. Passing is the rule rather than the exception here at Daytona on this cool afternoon. Waltrip and Allison, 1 and 2, and these were the two that put it on so heavily last year. It's almost, Jackie, a sense of deja vu.
Really a close finish, and we saw that great slingshot that worked here at Daytona with Allison and Waltrip. And last year, as you may remember, it was Allison who won that competition. It'll be interesting to see if the tables can be shifted this year, because, of course, one more year has passed of racing for Darrell Waltrip. He's got that much more experience, and it'll be interesting to see if Johnny Allison's in a position to do what he did with him last year.
Okay, the last pit stops, they put 4 new tires on and gas, and all the cars are rebuilt. Here they are, going down the back straightaway. Let's take a look at how this was 1 year ago today. This is the crucial moment as they come down the back straightaway. Will Allison be able to muster the power? Will Waltrip try a block? And here he goes. He pulls out of there. There's the slingshot at work. And Allison circuits ahead with less than a half a lap remaining. Can he hang on to it to the finish? What a race. And what will Waltrip do? He doesn't have much time left. He's starting to come down on the track. Waltrip is going to make a run for it on the inside as they come off the final turn. Down the short chute. Not too much left. It's Allison and Waltrip, and now Waltrip cuts low. And Allison slides him down. Waltrip is on the apron, and Allison wins by less than a length. That's the way it was a year ago with Johnny Allison coming home the winner and a dejected Darrell Waltrip having to be satisfied with second place. Milliken has now moved into the leading position here. He's flying third in the red and blue car, number 04. And now it's the pit crews have done their work. Whoops, and Allison goes by Waltrip for the lead. We have still 17 laps to go, 16 and a half laps to go, so there'll no doubt be some more passing. And here is where the drivers start to figure out the other man, what his car is like now. The tires have been changed, the adjustments have been made on the chassis, so they're going to handle a little bit differently now the closing lap as the track gets slicker.
And look at that car. Milliken got it right up close to the wall there. He almost brushed that wall. He got into what I call the marbles, fresh piece of road which nobody normally uses, and that's why you saw the dust getting up there. Milliken all day, in my mind, has just been a little bit ragged, just a little bit close to the edge and moving. And there again, that car got loose. He's definitely got a car that's loose on the rear end, even though he's trying to overtake. And there you see Waltrip slipping through for the lead.
Well, Waltrip is now out in front, and Milliken's trying for second place. Since that last pit stop where they put on new tires, the speed has jumped 5 miles an hour. They're going at a high 180, 180.8, 180.9, whereas before the pit stop they were running 175. They've been rebuilding and out of running.
And here we see here in slow motion. This Milligan, look at him on the right-hand side of the screen. The car gets loose. It gets into that marble area there. He really closes up. It's only a matter of inches from the wall. And then the car went back out and continued. He was a lucky man.
It didn't bother Joe Milliken, Jackie. He boomed right into second place behind leader Darrell Waltrip with Donnie Allison now third. The scorers tell us there have been more than 20 official start-finish line lead changes in this race, which is being run at a record speed just under 170 miles an hour. Jack Bland, who we saw jump out of his burning car earlier, is reported to have suffered serious burns on his hands. Otherwise, he's okay. And now, Joe Milliken moves down on the inside and grabs the lead. And we'll be back for more of the Daytona 300 in 1 minute. Side by side for a moment for second place. Milliken leads. Waltrip is second, and Allison is third. Jackie is passing and repassing for the lead. They say they want to figure out the other guy, but there's a third man there. The third man theme should be playing now, and this is the one that's hard to figure out. How do they calculate and adjust and figure for another man? If it's just two of them, they know exactly what they're going to do. But with another one in there, it becomes a toss-up.
I think the question really lies between the man who's first and the man who's second. The man who's third very seldom can come from third position as they go down the back stretch and manage to win from third position with only 1.5 corners left in the racetrack. So really, it's where you position yourself going into turn 3 that seems to matter at this Daytona racetrack. And that's what these three drivers have got to work out. There's got to be one man left out. 3 is never a happy couple. And that man in third position can hardly be expected on that last few hundred yards of the racetrack to come through and win. So it'll be an exhibition of out-fumbling, Chris.
Well, Joe Milliken's out in front, and Darrell Waltrip second, and Donnie Allison is third. There's more to leading a race like this than just being a good driver. You've got to have a good car. We talked with Milliken about that.
Well, Joe, a couple of years ago, we talked to you here in Victory Lane. Now you're back shooting for another victory in the Sportsman race. You're driving one of Richard Petty prepared cars, I'm told. What is so special about that equipment?
Well, the thing of it is, when you run one of Richard's cars, you've always got the best equipment and all. There's nobody's got anything any better than you have. And they prepare the car so well down here that you have a real good chance of things down here.
Well, the yellow light is on. Milliken is leading and Waltrip is second. Now, they don't have to slow down until they get to start-finish line and see the flag. Waltrip, a track-savvy driver, passes Milliken now. He's taking advantage of the yellow light being on. Passing is allowed until they get to the stripe, and then there's no passing. So Waltrip, in a sense, has stolen the lead here from Joe Milliken. When they hit this yellow line, there'll be no passing allowed. A slick move by Waltrip there, and the inexperience that Milliken showed. He had the speed, but he saw the light, and he backed off. What the reason is? Here, Bob Presley's car has lost its engine. It's coasting. It's an obstacle on the track, an unsafe hazard, and as he coasts down off the track, we should see the pace car go out, and there's Darrell Waltrip's wife. She knows what he did out there. That's my boy. She's thinking about hubby Darrell. The light is on. They'll be closing up, and here's Bob Presley getting a boost from the push truck. He's through for the day, a great short track competitor. Pace car's out on the track. Darrell Waltrip now leads behind the pace car in car 88. Milliken has been pushed back to second in 04. Donnie Allison is third, and Ray Hendrick is fourth in car number 90. It's going to be a two-lap dash to the checker when the green flag comes out next time around. We'll be back for that in 1 minute. Behind the car, they'll be getting the green this time around with a two-lap dash for the checker. Remember, a $100,000 added rate, the richest sportsman race ever run here at Daytona Beach. Darrell Waltrip is in the lead, car number 88. Joe Milliken is second in car 04. Donnie Allison has come back now because of the yellow flag. He's third in car 21, and Ray Hendrick in number 90 is fourth. They're in the same lap. Morgan Shepherd in car 50 is a lap down in fifth place. It's going to be anybody's race. We were talking earlier about 3 cars being in the mix for the finish. Now there will be 4. How many cars on the track, Jackie?
There are 16 cars left on the racetrack at this time, Chris. There's been a fair amount of attrition. The average speed has been incredible, 163.745 miles an hour, a new record.
And here they come now. The pace cars coming into the pit lane. They're coming down for the start. Look at Waltrip trying to steal a march on the field by moving ahead. And the green is out. It's Waltrip, Allison, Milliken, and Hendrick. And Waltrip slips away. 2 laps to go. Next time around, they'll get the white flag. Can they make up this interval? Waltrip, very smart driver. He's shown great savvy here today, Jackie.
Well, a young man with a lot of good head in his shoulders, but the man he's got to watch more than anybody else is the man that's number 2 on your screen right now is Donnie Allison. Enormous enormous experience and just exactly the same situation as 12 months ago.
It's unbelievable. The same two drivers and the same two cars. An 88 and a 21. The color scheme, everything the same. The weather the same. The crowd, they're coming down for the white flag now. And Donnie Allison is about 5 lengths behind Darrell Waltrip, who's taking the low road. Allison's coming up high. He's moving in. Here comes Joe Milliken and Ray Hendrick. What a finish. It's 1 lap to go. 2.5 more miles to the checkered flag. And Waltrip from Franklin, Tennessee, the new Superstar Racing. Allison of Hueytown, Alabama, pulls in on his back bumper, moves down underneath. Waltrip using racetrack, 3 lengths behind. 2 miles to go. And Allison takes the high road. He wants to get that long run down the back straightaway. Use every bit of the draft possible. Waltrip has got to be thinking about last year. Milliken moving in with the Petty Dodge number 04. Down the back straightaway.
And Waltrip's on the inside of the racetrack. He's not using the racetrack as he normally does. And there he goes up on the high part of the racetrack. Donnie Allison trying to go round Darrell Waltrip. It's going to be very, very close at the finish grid.
Now Allison is going to try to come down low underneath him, but Waltrip is too smart. He's giving him no room. It's only a couple of 100 yards to the checkered flag. Here comes Allison on the outside, side by side, door handle to door handle, and they hit the line. And it looks to me like Waltrip by about 2 inches and another almost dead heat finish here at the Daytona International.
It's the closest race I've ever seen right here in the finishing line, and I think that just by such a small margin, Darrell Waltrip got it, but it could only have been inches.
And it's been official. 88 did win the race, and he deserved it all the way, but what a try Donnie Allison gave. Huh?
What a performance. What a great bit of driving. 2 great drivers performing at the top of their talent, shaking heads at each other now as they relax along this back stretch. The race is over 300 miles, and still a lot of good camaraderie, friendship, and I'm sure appreciation for each other's talent.
Darrell Waltrip is the winner by inches over Donnie Allison. We'll be back in 1 minute. Winning average of 62.6 miles an hour, broke a 17-year-old track record. He won $15,600 to Allison's $9,300. And here's our winner with Benny Parsons.
Well, that last lap, did you have visions of last year? Oh, Donnie, Benny, I knew Donnie was going to be coming. I just almost cried on the radio. I said, no. I said, please, not that. Milliken and I, okay, me and him down to the line, but dadgum, here comes Donnie, number 90, Milliken. And I said, down the tube we go. I'm really, really surprised. Have you ever won a closer race in your life? No, that's the closest one I ever won. Hey, but I've lost some that close.
Okay, Jackie, let's have another look at that dramatic finish of this year's Sportsman 300.
Well, as they come through turn 4 here, you can see low on the racetrack, the car in the lead is Darrell Waltrip. He doesn't go right up to the wall like he would normally be doing, and I think this was Donnie Allison expecting him to do. He stayed low on the racetrack, therefore not giving Donnie Allison the opportunity to draft. And there he stayed low all the way around this 18-degree banking. And look how close. Allison really is galloping on now, gaining speed. Coming up to the finishing line, Darrell Waltrip on the right-hand side crosses the finishing line, but really a very short distance ahead of the second man.
To lose one that close has got to be a bitter pill. 1 year ago, it was the agony of defeat for Darrell Waltrip and his wife, Stevie. Today, the thrill of victory.